Hello and welcome to an episode which is numbered
20.
of the franchise. It's episode 20?
Yep.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us. I know.
And to celebrate this occasion, we'll be covering Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, as well as Friday the 13th, Part 8, in which Jason takes Manhattan.
Kinda.
Well, for at least 4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is your host, Daniel Ehrenberg.
Yo, that is me. I am Daniel Ehrenberg, and I am your host.
And then he would have said my name if he would have got what I was doing there.
I knew what you were doing.
But you just decided not to.
But
That's
you
fine.
should say it.
I'm Henry Papale.
Boom. That's the other host. Okay.
We're a real Martin and Lewis.
Oh, our chemistry is on point today.
Yeah.
Right, Friday the 13th, Part 7. Let's go. It's the Kane Hodder era.
Yeah.
Listen, he's the only guy to play Jason more than once. He does it 4 times. I just love that the Wikipedia entry for this movie calls it like, this is the beginning of the Kane Hodder era. Like that's something that matters.
You know, I'm kind of glad you pointed that out right away, because I was going to say we'll get to it, but there's really no reason in the rest of this show to get to it. So I'll just say right away, nothing against Kane Hodder.
But who could possibly care?
Yeah, and I like Part 6 guy.
Ooh, look at you.
I really do. I like his physicality more. I like Kane Hodder's Jason. Like, he's, bigger and muscular and ridiculous. But I like 6. I like that guy. The way he... Remember, we even talked about it in the last episode. Like, he's fast. He's quick. It's like a different physicality to
I agree with you, and I had it on the mind watching these movies.
I did too.
And it kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, so I didn't think I'd care, but you really do notice. So maybe somebody could care. I don't know.
We shouldn't, though. Listen, we shouldn't care.
No, we shouldn't.
But we do.
We do.
Okay, we like Part 6, guy.
What's his name? What's his name? Who could care?
I don't know. You want to Google it?
I'll find out. You go ahead.
It's
you go ahead.
See care.
Give me the the stats.
Well, I'll tell you what. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, directed by John Carl Buechler.
Oh, C.J. Graham. C.J. Graham.
That's Part 6 guy?
Yeah, C.J. Graham. All right.
John Carl Buechler. That's our new director.
Yeah, his name's pronounced actually Beekler, as it says on his page.
Does it actually?
Yep, which I loved. That was a great...
Great.
He needs to be known by his name correctly pronounced, so it's Beekler.
The director of the first Troll.
Yes, you stole it from me.
Yeah. The uninteresting Troll.
Right, correct.
Troll 2, of course,
bad one.
A movie that's so bad there's been brilliant documentaries made out of it. Troll, the first one, negligible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Written by Manuel Fidelo and Daryl Haney. Released May 13th, 1988. So it's been... Part 6 came out August 1st, 1986. So it's the rare 2-year break in this series at this point. But fans of Friday the 13th in 1987, no worries. You might recall Friday the 13th, the TV series, premiered that year.
Oh, look at you. Wow. Okay. My God.
You ever watch that?
No.
Me neither.
I'm stunned.
It's one of these syndicated things like Xena or something like that.
Right, sure. Yeah.
It'd be on at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And
the Friday the 13th afternoon crowd.
Yeah.
The Oprah crowd.
Jason's not in it. It's like...
Oh, he's not?
No. It's about these people that work in an antique shop. You know what it kind of is? It's The Conjuring. Because it's just like these people that work in this antique shop, like solving supernatural mysteries and then like putting the antiques in the shop.
That sounds
Is
really...
that sort of The Conjuring?
No, not at all.
No, it kind of is.
It's interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Conjuring?
I've seen the first one.
Okay. Interesting that that's what you took away from it, because
Yeah, there's that scary doll down there.
Yeah, it's not really an antique store, but
I don't even know if this is either, but it's about like sort of supernatural shit.
Sure, I get it.
Whatever.
Okay.
But this is 88 here. It's released on Friday the 13th, 1988. Budget of $2.8 million. Box office, $19.1 million.
Okay.
Not huge, but fine.
Yeah. They made their money back and some more. They're always making their money back here.
Well, that's what they do, because they keep their budgets down. That's what they want.
Yeah.
All right. So Buechler had directed Troll. One of these writers, Daryl Haney. You familiar with this fella?
Nope, I didn't look him up at all.
Listen, he went on to do some shit. One of the world's foremost softcore porn writers. Do you know the Emmanuel series?
Yes, I've heard of it.
He created that.
Oh,
ooh,
that was successful, right?
Sure. If you ever want to see a girl with kinky 80s hair getting fucked with no penetration, watch the Emmanuel series.
I was just thinking of tuning into something like that tonight.
Yeah. What was that on, like Showtime or something?
Probably. That sounds right. Yeah.
I remember that series went to space similarly to Friday the 13th at one point.
Emmanuel in space?
Yeah, I think that was one.
Emmanuel Triple X?
No, never Triple X.
That was a joke.
Oh, Jason X, of course.
Right. Emmanuel Triple X.
Okay.
It takes a while sometimes.
Listen, I'm not all here today.
That's okay. It takes a while, like Steve Martin famously said.
That one was my fault.
That's fine.
Yeah, that wasn't the joke's fault. Number 53 in the box office. Right near a couple other franchise pictures.
In 88, huh?
Yeah. You want to guess? What's
man.
around number 53?
These get so hard. I have been such a dismal failure.
These are both franchise pictures, though.
I mean, are we talking like major franchises?
Oh, major franchises.
1988. Okay, there was no Predator, there was no Aliens, there was no Star Wars.
Also, none of those would be around number 53 in the rankings.
Good point. Very good point. That's why I'll never get it. I mean, if you want to give me a fun hint, we haven't done that in a while.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Okay, so it's just ahead of a film. One of the only franchises about old people.
Cocoon 2.
Boom! Cocoon, The Return.
I'm pretty good.
You are good. And just behind, one of old Bill's favorite films.
Oh, High Noon?
No, President Clinton.
Yeah, no, I know he loves High Noon. I read that once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One of his... Police Academy 9?
Police Academy 5. Assignment, Miami Beach.
There you go.
All right.
I love it.
I just love Assignment Miami Beach. There's more bikinis in that one.
Night Watch.
All right. So, Part 7 was originally planned to be Freddy versus Jason.
Right.
But they couldn't put it together in time. There were problems between the two studios. New Line Cinemas would eventually have the rights to Friday the 13th. But they don't yet. It's still a Paramount product. So they couldn't sort that out. Then they were going to do Jason versus Carrie.
Yeah.
At this point, there'd only been the one Carrie movie, the De Palma film.
Right.
They had yet to do The Rage Carrie 2.
Right.
Stay tuned. We'll definitely cover that.
It'll be a while. But yeah.
It might be a while. But stay tuned.
Stay tuned over the next couple of years, guys.
Yeah. We'll be covering the Rage Carry 2 in 2019.
Yeah, in season 54, we'll get around to that.
But then the rights for that fell through too. But Paramount liked the script for that one. So now we're doing Jason versus some telekinetic girl.
Right.
That's what we're doing here. Her name's Tina now.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we opened previously on Friday the 13th. We haven't done that since part 4. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I was excited.
We got to see Wheels again.
Yeah, they really reach deep when they do these recaps. They really go through like the full thing. So
it also has a weird narration. This one.
Is this the one with the ominous guy?
Yeah, it's like trying to make it seem more important than it is. It reminds me of like the start of like a wrestling pay-per-view when like the headline match is like The Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and those pay-per-views always start with like a narrator going like, "Since the beginning of time, mankind has." Yeah, it's just like, yo, you get that it's The Undertaker fighting Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right. Thanks for the prologue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We don't need to treat this like it's fucking biblical. It's a Jason movie,
it's the
guys.
10 Commandments, Part 7, The New Blood. Yeah.
Yeah. The New Blood. It's kind of a great title.
But I still don't, we don't have to get to it. I always like my thing now. We'll get to it, but we don't have to get to it. The New Blood, I still don't understand it. I don't really understand it. What does it mean to this movie?
Well, I think it's just a new Jason movie, so like The New Blood.
So it's not like he's the new blood. It's not like she's the new blood.
No.
I thought she was going to be the new blood.
I believe it's just a sort of a lazy pun or something.
Maybe it's the new blood that will be shed, like that kind of stuff. Like there's new blood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. Make sure I understood that. Yeah, it's important.
Great. So we open on a flashback after previously. And there's this little girl, Tina, and she has a troubled family. The dad's a drinker. He might be semi-abusive. The reason we know this is we see her outside her house,
right? And
we hear some dialogue coming from indoors. Mom says to the dad, "Don't drink anymore."
Right.
Right to the point.
Oh, gets it out of the way.
Dad responds, "Don't tell me what to do," and then you hear a slap. So that's their relationship. Can we play that out like it's a play? Henry,
yeah.
I'm going to be... You be the mom, all right? You ready?
Okay, all right. I really wish you would stop drinking.
No!
Oh! Our daughter heard that. How do you think that makes her feel?
I'll tell you how it makes her feel. She accidentally kills her father using her heretofore unknown power of telekinesis.
Nice transition from the play right into the show.
Boom. I'm a pro.
Nice.
I'm a real pro.
I know that.
Yeah. It's a real Jean Reno situation.
Yeah, but she really, she goes out on the boat, the ominous boat, that canoe, that's seen a lot of action, that canoe, and kills her dad.
No series has ever made a canoe seem more ominous.
I'm never getting in one. I don't want any part of it. I don't want to go to me in the woods. I don't want to go anyway.
Canoe?
And now I'm not going to the canoe. Forget it.
That's right.
Keep me out.
Yeah.
So he's dead.
He's totally dead. Or is he?
Right.
Who gives a shit? And then, so we cut to the future. Tina's an adult now.
The
future again, by the way.
the future.
I mean, it's so understandable that Jason X takes place like in the year 3000 or whatever.
Now it makes sense.
Because we're just
They love
constantly in the future. Like,
They
when
love
does the
doing it.
New Blood take place? This has to be like 1999 already.
He's an old man. Jason has got to be getting long in the tooth. I mean, I don't know. But then again, he's been dead, kinda. So,
Oh,
you know.
he's a zombie.
Well, boy, we should mention that's how he is resurrected, right? Her telekinesis triggers some kind of electrical.
Yeah, you'll recall at the end of Jason Lives, he's like anchored to the bottom of Crystal Lake. And so yeah, her telekinesis sort of like raises him physically, and he's just ready to go.
Yeah.
And the Jason in this movie, I guess he's been under there a long time because like, you see him from the back a few times.
I don't care for that.
And
I don't care for that.
He's just like a skeleton.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. I actually wrote it down.
Yeah, give him some muscle mass.
I wrote Jason too ridiculous looking. It's just it's too ridiculous. Like, I didn't remember that at all.
No, you're right. Jason takes and takes a step back from that.
Yeah, like
I
this
think
is
they
like
got that's stupid.
he's like not even a zombie. I mean, it's beyond zombie. He's like one of those, zombies in The Walking Dead that's like just a skeletal remain. It's just it's just, and he's got like claws for hands, right? He's like really like monster territory here.
Beyond Zombie. Is that one of
Yeah.
those H.P. Lovecraft movies?
Sounds like it.
Sure.
H.P. Lovecraft.
I hate those movies. I had a professor in college that like wrote Reanimator.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How is Reanimator? Is that based on
That's
H.P.?
one of those Lovecraft movies.
Oh, Lovecraft was a prick anyway. Did you know that? He was like a huge anti-Semite.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a real asshole. And, by the way, not a great writer.
I completely agree. He's one of these guys that like some heady dudes like
Exactly.
really revere, and
They think he's some literary genius, and he's not. He's like he's like an early 20th century
George R.R. Martin.
Dean Koontz. Yeah, or exactly.
Don't disgrace the good name of Dean Koontz by comparing him to H.P. Lovecraft.
Sorry, I didn't know you had any reverence for that guy.
I don't really, but I've read a couple. No, Koontz sucks too. You're right.
Thanks.
Whatever.
Glad we're past that.
Yeah.
That was a quick literary argument.
Yeah.
I was like, is he really going to go in full throttle with the Dean Koontz defense? And no, he's not.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Um,
So Jason's out for, Tina's older. She's under the care of this the worst doctor in history.
Dr. Bad News Cruz,
Yeah.
who, by the way,
She calls him that, so Dan wasn't just making a joke there.
no, that's the character's name. You know who plays Dr. Bad News Cruz?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yep, it's flat out Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, he's the only actor
We'll
in
definitely be covering that too.
Yeah, sure. He's the only actor in here I could find with any sort of resume, which was actually
really?
huge.
Do you not have a superhero count?
Not for this movie. Actually, I wrote a sentence that said, obviously, comma, no superhero count.
I have a superhero count.
You do not.
Yes, I do.
I have one for 8.
I do too. I do too. Oh, damn! I was hoping to surprise you with that.
I was hoping to surprise you. Damn you! I was like, he won't catch it. He won't catch it.
Of course, I did.
Well, 7. I don't know. I don't have it. You want to do it early? You want to just throw it out?
Let's just do it.
Let me.
So
Hit me.
Tina meets a guy named Nick.
Yeah.
And Nick is this handsome fella because it's another one of these things like Part 4 where the premise of the movie is Tina's being taken care of by this doctor in like this one cabin and her mom's there. And then across the lake there's another cabin and some horny teens are there.
Of course.
And they're so disposable. I think they're the worst horny teens in the history of the series.
They're pretty fucking bad. Yeah.
Like, none of them have any character traits.
No, nothing. They're horrible.
But this guy, Nick, is presented as sort of our male lead because he's sort of handsome and he's nice to Tina and he keeps, like, inviting her over for shit.
Right.
And that guy who played Nick,
Here it comes.
he was a prosecutor in the director's cut, straight to DVD, of the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
Oh, wow. Wow. Good catch. Okay.
And you know
All
who
right.
else was in that movie?
Who?
Kane Hodder, the guy who played Jason. So our superhero count is 2.
He's in Daredevil?
Yep.
Who was he in that?
He's some action sequence guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you. All right. You win. I think I was holding the title since I had gotten Jimmy Olsen in Back to the Future.
That was
probably the title
was
holder.
Previously the best for sure.
Yeah. It has now been trumped. Oh, yeah.
Let's not bring him up.
You're goddamn right. Let's not.
All right. Well, although a lot of pussy grabbing in the series.
Shots fired.
Not
Yeah,
really.
there sure are. There's a lot of pussy grabbing. A
Um.
lot of kissing, a lot of forcible kissing.
Also, a lot of cats popping up. I think like that whole horror trope of like, oh, it was just a cat, comes from this series. There's constantly just cats everywhere.
You could be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so another part of the premise for this movie is those horny teens are in that cabin because they're trying to hold a surprise birthday party for this fella Michael,
Yeah.
and he's just not showing up. What happened to him? I'll tell you.
Oh.
He got murdered by Jason, along with his girlfriend Jade.
Oh, is that her name?
Yeah, I wrote that down.
I missed that.
Yeah. And I mean that's just the plot of this movie. These horny teens are there as cannon fodder, and we're supposed to be dealing with like Tina's rehabilitation.
And the doctor who secretly only cares about exploiting her telekinetic powers.
And just some of right. Like it turns out he doesn't actually want to help her. He's just so interested in her fucking superpowers.
Yeah, and her mom's kind of clueless, and
Yeah. Yeah, the mom, by the way, is like a famous animation person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like she does a lot of voices. Like she's one of these like animation people that have like 1,000 credits on IMDb.
Yeah, sure.
She was the voice director on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Wow.
And has the worst 80s hair of anyone in any Friday the 13th movie.
And that is saying something in this series, but I have to agree.
Yeah, it really is.
It's flying in all kinds of combing directions.
Also, the horny teens might be even dumber and hornier than usual. And part of that comes from the writing of this Emmanuel fella.
Mm.
I wrote down a couple lines of dialogue, Hank.
Okay.
One camper says, "Okay, you big hunk of a man, come and get me." Then it turns out it's Jason outside the tent, and in one of the best deaths of the movie, just whacks her against a tree while she's still in her sleeping bag.
That is the best death in the movie.
That is a great one.
And it's the only death. I'm glad you brought that up because this is a perfect time to. What's happening? Is kind of now, I guess, in part 7, we're not really showing any deaths. There was clearly some problems they were having with the MPAA because almost every like hatchet or knife or cut, like it just cuts away. Like you don't get the death anymore. It's like an editing cut, like every time.
And it's important that you brought up just hatchet or knife or whatever, because that's this entire movie. One of the fun things about the Friday the 13th series is they get very, very creative with their deaths.
Sure.
And it's just machete in this movie.
Yeah.
That's why that sleeping bag scene stands out.
Yeah, the only other one is at the end he kills the doctor with a massive, giant, extended chainsaw, as I recall.
Yeah, but even that is just like...
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
A sharp object.
Right, the sleeping bag is hysterical. It's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Here's another line that I wrote down.
Okay.
A girl skinny dipping. Talking to a fella about why she's attracted to him.
Mm.
She says, The first time I saw your enormous wallet,
Right.
that bulge in your pants, then
Yeah.
she and the guy both die immediately.
Yeah. Very erotic.
That's it.
Very
I mean, I have nothing to say about these teens. All the girls want to fuck this Nick fella, but he's just interested in crazy telekinetic Tina across the way.
You got the guy writing sci-fi scripts, right?
Yeah, he's basically Crispin Glover in Back to the Future.
Yeah, but he's not Crispin Glover.
No,
so.
sadly.
And they're really, I wrote a note, they're really just from coming off of 6, they're really just back to being fucking dummies.
Yeah,
that's all.
This is the worst Friday the 13th, definitely since Part 3.
Yeah, 5 was pretty fucking horrible, but I think I'd take it over this.
But Part 5 is more fun than this movie.
Yeah, and I even wrote down, this lacks any charm. There's no charm in it, it's just...
I'm kind of with you on this one. And the way I said Part 6 was like the real revelation of the series for me, where like I couldn't, like it was way better than I had remembered it.
Right.
This I remember really liking, and
Ooh.
I kind of super wasn't into it this time.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
junk pile. It's a fucking junk pile.
It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I wanted to make a note for the first time. I believe also Manfredini has some help on the music.
Yeah, and then Manfredini's gone altogether in Manhattan,
right. But you can hear the changes because they're equally stupid, but they're very different. This guy's real into percussion, so you hear a lot of percussiveness as opposed to...
God, the opening credits is just like the same 2 bars of music over and over again for like 2 minutes. I want to punch the screen.
What I love about the opening credits for this fucking shit is that I love when they give you like every single credit in the beginning of the movie. It's like we've reverted back to like 1960 when they had to, by law, put all the credits first. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And that's what we do now, like we're watching something really monumental. But of course, at the end, we have to watch them all again anyway, so there's no point for this 6-minute credit introduction.
I know. And we have to give Kane Hodder his due. Like in Part 8, there's like a credit that's like, and Kane Hodder as Jason. Like anyone cares. Although I guess
people
horror
care.
nerds care. They love Kane fucking Hodder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They could have easily gotten the wrestler Kane, and he would have given the same performance.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's a Terminator reference in this movie, too, I caught.
Come With Me If You Want to Live?
No.
What is it? I don't remember.
Because we're in that era. There hasn't even been the sequel yet, so Terminator's still flying around.
True.
One of the idiots says to one of the other idiots, I'll be back. Just like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real funny.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Oh, and did you catch at the beginning? Talk about derivative. When Tina's a little girl, did you catch when the little girl's haircut is identical to the Poltergeist girl?
No, I didn't notice that.
I thought of it immediately. I thought of it immediately. I was like, oh my God, it's Carol Ann. They went straight for the blonde with the bangs, and that she looks identical.
Ooh,
to the
you're right.
Yeah, remember?
Holy fuck! You're right. She looks fucking exactly like the Poltergeist girl.
Yeah, that's not unintentional.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Like, that must have been in the casting call. Just whoever, some young bitch who looks like the Poltergeist girl.
Yeah,
come down
Carl
to Martin
Buechler.
J. Paramount's office, and your mom pitch you.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Buechler.
Buechler. John Carl Buechler.
JCB.
So it comes down to a showdown between, basically Carrie and Jason, right?
Yeah, who's rotted very badly.
I like that she, there's like a severed head of the doctor, and she just like telekinetics it at Jason.
No, that's the head of the sci-fi guy. He's like his head's underneath the plant, and she like throws the plant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and she just whacks Jason with this severed head. That's kind of a good moment.
Yeah.
And
hey, she's trying, that girl, that actor. I give her credit.
Yeah, and then ultimately He's set on fire, which...
Did you read that one?
Yeah, he was on fire for a long time, and that was like a record at the time among
Still is.
stuntmen.
Still is.
Really? That's like it's like the longest anyone's been on fire on screen.
Yeah, with the exception of Shia LaBeouf from 2007 to 2011.
Oh, he was on fire.
I'm proud of that joke. I just made that up.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf. You know how many Shia LaBeouf movies I saw in theaters during that era? It's so embarrassing.
Like
I
8?
really liked Shia LaBeouf.
He's in a couple of movies I like.
I saw Disturbia in theaters. I saw Eagle Eye in theaters.
Oh boy, okay.
Yeah.
No and no. Come to think of it, maybe I only saw him in... Oh no, that's not him in Die Hard 4. That's
No, I said it would have been him a year later.
Right.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I might have only seen him in Wall Street 2. Money Never Sleeps. Get ready, folks.
Worst title of all time.
Great movie.
It's okay. I also saw in theaters because I was such a big Project Greenlight fan.
Sure.
That second Project Greenlight movie, The Battle of Shaker Heights.
Right.
Yeah. I owned that on DVD.
I bet you did.
I spent $15 of my hard-earned money on The Battle of Shaker Heights on DVD.
Lord have mercy.
Someone put me out of my misery.
Hey, you worked in a DVD store. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think I was at Blockbuster at the time.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I'm going to buy it. Battle of Shaker Heights. I'll take that. $15? I don't care.
I should have cared.
Yeah, I know.
How many times could I possibly have watched that? Once. I saw it in theaters, and then probably once on DVD, and that was that.
Throw it out. Use it for a coaster.
I do still have it. I can use it as a coaster.
Yeah.
At my next party, people will drink on the Battle of Shaker Heights.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. It's got Amy Smart on that cover.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lay your rum and coke right down there. Yeah.
Boom. Okay, so...
All right. I'm done.
Wait, and then she buries him under the river again, and there's this, like, weird, ambiguous scene where, like, it's like she resurrects her father from the past, maybe?
Yeah.
And, like, he pulls him under. I don't really understand
It doesn't
the ending
work.
of the movie. It doesn't work.
No.
They go for this weird, ambiguous thing, and it just sucks.
And I was going to mention, too, I said it briefly about how he looks, but, yet another unmasking. It's like, I think 5 of these fucking things, they've already done that, and that's one of the reasons I like 6. You don't get to do the unmasking. It's kind of cool. It's another nice touch in 6, where it's just mysterious, and this time they, like, go all out on the makeup, and he's essentially looks like, what does he even, looks like a fucking gargoyle. It's just...
Yeah. So, look. Part 7, I don't think it's a disaster by any means. I don't think it's the worst movie in the series, but it's pretty negligible.
It's pretty low on...
If you're not a completist, this is one to skip.
That's a salient point.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing with MVP, LVP, and star rating?
I'm gonna give it 2.
Okay.
Because I had some amount of fun watching this movie, but, like, it just sort of floats by you.
Yeah.
But
in a canoe. In a
canoe.
Yeah.
Or like a telekinetically raised head.
Right. I'm going 1.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's going 1 there.
Totally fine with that.
Yeah. My MVP, this was tough. Almost by default, yeah. I'm giving it to adult Tina. Because I think that actress, Lar Park...
Yeah. Doesn't she have a third name?
Yeah, sure, but I don't remember what it is.
Okay,
I couldn't read more than Lar Park. My brain shut down.
Lar Park, yeah.
Yeah, my brain froze.
Her name is Lar Park something.
Lar Park, Lar, people. We're not saying Lara. Lar Park.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Swedish. So I'm giving it to her, Tina. She's my MVP. My LVP, it's split. The actor is going to be Melissa, who played the horrific, overly written bitch that's just only motivated by hatred.
Well, no, she's motivated like she just
by Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nick, not Rick.
Nick, whatever.
Hello, Rick was that boyfriend character. God damn it! I thought I could be awesome and pull which one it is.
Gotcha.
It's part three.
Okay.
No, yeah, she just wants to fuck Nick. So at one point, she like fucks another guy, thinking Nick's gonna like walk in on them, and like that'll get him.
She doesn't even do it. She teases the poor sci-fi guy.
Oh, that's right.
She's
yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't like you. Bye." Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then my tie then is with the director too, because Buchler is just he's
no good.
Come on,
no
good. Let's hear yours.
I'm gonna give MVP to Dr. Bad News Cruz.
I thought you would.
I enjoyed that character. I'm gonna give LVP. Can I give a tie? Is that all right?
That's what I just did. Yeah.
Okay, Nick. He's your male lead. That guy sucked.
The attorney, Daredevil.
And there's like this one actress, like they cast like a not that attractive girl to play like a nerd.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, she's just this real downtrodden Lily Taylor type.
Yeah.
And like, get out of my Friday the 13th movie. I'm trying to have fun over here.
She's like the female equivalent of that nerd in 2, right? 3. The nerd in 3 who's just
yeah, real droopy, Doug. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, if they would have met sooner, they would have been a happy couple.
Oh, they could have been a good couple.
Yeah.
Except he was a piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
All right.
I definitely like Droopy Dog Lady more than Droopy Dog
Guy
in that movie.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's move on.
Let's do that.
Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan. And
or as I wrote in the title, Friday the 13th, Part 8, blah, 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 Manhattan.
We'll get there. He takes a boat.
Go ahead.
I just want to say right here, you came up with this theory that the even-numbered movies in the Friday the 13th series are the good ones.
Right, I said that last week.
And this is the same as the Star Trek movies. That's what people say about the Star Trek movies.
Okay.
And it was during this movie that I realized, you're right. That's it. The even-numbered ones are good. And I think it's going to prove true next week, too, because, like, Jason X, I think, is, like, not as big a disaster as you're expecting it to be. And I hate Part 9.
I'm anticipating that myself because I remember parts of Jason X, and there's no way that it's going to be as bad as 9. Now, I don't think I've ever seen any part of 9, but just the look of it and the concept, I'm preparing myself.
Yep.
So I have a good theory here, folks. I've provided a little service. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Watch those.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8.
2, 4, 6, 8.
If
who do
you
we
are
appreciate,
interested,
Henry?
Yeah. If you're interested in Friday the 13th, watch 2, 4, 6, 8.
There you go.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right, so he's taking Manhattan. We've got a new auteur, like Part 6, written and directed by a fellow named Rob Hedden. He didn't direct much after this, but he did have a writing career. And he wrote at least 2 movies that I've seen after this. One of them was called Clock Stoppers.
Yeah, I looked that up and I recognized it, but I did not see it. Yeah.
It's about a fella who can stop time. The male lead was that dude from... remember that charming young guy from Bring It On?
I only remember Kirsten Dunst in that movie.
He had a career for... Hey, Bring It On is a great cast. Eliza Dushku.
Oh, yeah.
Claire Kramer. All the best.
All right.
And he also wrote the great... Oh, second time I'm going to reference Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Condemned.
Yeah, I looked that up too, but I also have not seen that.
Yeah, that was like an action movie that I think was like produced by Vince McMahon.
Sweet.
Yeah. And Stone Cold Steve Austin.
One of the best human beings around. Yeah.
Oh, Vince McMahon?
Yeah, one of the nicest guys around.
One of the only people Donald Trump follows on Twitter.
I was just that is weird that you said that, because I was just gonna say, I was like, should I say it? Should I not? And I was just gonna say he reminds me of he's like the fucking wrestling Donald Trump is what he is, and that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Oh, he's a genius though.
They're the same guys.
I would so sooner vote for Vince McMahon.
So would I.
I mean, look, I love the WWE. I think it's one of the
Right.
greatest organizations of all time. But maybe don't produce movies.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
I've also seen See No Evil starring Kane.
That I've heard of too. Why have I heard of these things? Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen to the special episode of, if you're interested, like the only time we ever talked about movies on Surviving Survivor, my previous podcast. I had on a special guest, Svi Fuhrer, to talk about the movie Endgame, starring the wrestler Kurt Angle and the Survivor winner Jenna Maraska. So listen to my old podcast, Surviving Survivor. Check that out. That's a fun one.
Good plug.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, why not?
Why not?
It was good. So what year are we in, my friend? What year are we
we're
in?
a year later, you know.
89.
That's how they do it. It's July 28th, 1989. It's the final Paramount Friday the 13th movie. The rights reverted to New Line after this, sadly. We're on a budget of $5 million, which is probably too much for a Friday the 13th movie.
Well, they had to spend that other $4 million on that boat.
That boat's too big. It looks like they're on an ocean line. Let
me tell you something. Yeah, okay. I have some thoughts on the boat.
I do too.
So, okay.
But
let's just start with the. Can we start with the opening credits? Oh yeah.
Box
Sorry.
office 14.3. I've got some stats here.
Oh yeah. No. That's a pretty low box office.
This was another movie that was intended to be the final film in the series. You heard the theme song at the start of this episode, "The Darkest Side of the Night" by a band called Metropolis. When the director asked the band Metropolis to write this song, he told them he wanted it to sound like a Robert Plant song.
And they clearly did not know who
Mission
Robert Plant was.
successful. Oh boy!
I think they thought he said Robert Palmer. I don't. I'm not really sure, but they didn't get what they were aiming at. But I don't care.
That's my new favorite Henry joke of the episode. Okay, so it comes out in 1989. It came at number 70 in the box office. 1989, a weird year. I wrote down a few movies that were like right around this in the rankings.
I couldn't possibly guess.
No. You're definitely not going to guess.
But I want hints. I want to do that this week.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that much, so I want to do that. Go ahead. I got one of them last time, so go ahead.
How about a film starring Roseanne Barr?
She-Devil.
That's right.
Look at me.
Mm-hmm. How about an early Daniel Day-Lewis?
My Left Foot.
Boom. How about the start of a franchise starring Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oh, Bloodsport?
Good guess. Kickboxer.
Okay. All right.
How about, and this really dates this, a film starring Fred Savage?
Wasn't he in that thing with the switching bodies with his dad or something?
Not that. Featuring a co-starring role by Nintendo.
Oh my God. I don't know. Was he with a fucking robot or something?
The Wizard.
Oh, I remember that. Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I was 3 for 5.
Dating this just as much. How about an Oscar nomination for Gary Busey?
In 1989?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it's not the Buddy Holly story.
Yep.
That
Great
came out in 89?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Great Balls of Fire, right?
You are, whoa, buddy.
Am I mistaking movies?
You're mistaking musicians, movies, and actors.
Ooh, Great Balls of Fire is not Buddy Holly at all. It's Jerry Lee Lewis, right?
Starring...
Who is it?
Dennis Quaid.
You're right.
And I don't think he was up for an Oscar.
No, you're right. I fucked that one up. I was conflating movies.
I was like, Buddy Holly's story. No, that was like 1981 or something. Yeah. That's good. All right.
Dennis Quaid, huh?
Yep. I love Dennis Quaid. Great.
One of the least interesting humans. Nothing against Dennis Quaid. When Dennis Quaid shows up in a movie, he gives you a solid Dennis Quaid performance.
Oh, he's in one of your fucking favorite movies that I don't even care about.
Oh, what is it?
Far From Heaven.
Far From Heaven. Oh, yeah. I love Far From Heaven.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
It's 89.
Also,
it's a good
also
movie.
in that movie that just got adapted into a TV show that premiered this past
Frequency.
week. Yeah.
We mentioned that months ago.
Yeah. So, Friday the 13th, Part 8. We open on the Twin Towers. Eek.
How many movies have we fucking covered that show the Twin Towers? Oh my god, it's a lot.
You know what the hardest thing to watch is? Friends.
Oh, why the opening credits show it all?
It's not the opening credits. It's just like because Friends was just shot on a soundstage or whatever, but takes place in New York.
Right.
Like all the establishing shots are just like generic shots of New
Oh
York.
yeah.
And so there's like almost every episode of Friends, at some point you get like a scene transition with like some bumper music, and you see like the Twin Towers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Friends is also it's one of the hardest things to watch because it's Friends. So there's that.
Some people will love that joke, but Friends, a well-respected show that is probably the third best studio audience sitcom of all time, after Seinfeld and Cheers, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not qualified.
Okay then.
I'm not qualified.
You okay with that? Everything okay over there?
Okay. Yeah, checking in. I'm checking in with my secretary.
Henry?
Hold on. She's handing me a memo. Yeah.
Hey, Henry?
I'm sorry, I passed out.
I'll be there for you.
I
when the rain starts to pour.
I don't know if I'm going to be there for you for this. Oh.
I owned the Rembrandts album that had the Friends theme song on it on CD.
You bought it for that song?
Yeah, can we just continue my run of talking about money I've wasted over the years?
At least you're not defending it. No. Oh, boy. That's a purchase.
That was
That's
posted.
A purchase.
That was posted on Spotify recently, and I listened to part of that album to see if like I still liked any of it.
Sure.
Spoilers, no.
Yeah. You know, to be fair to you, you must have been pretty young when you bought that, right? I mean, we've all bought a lot of dumb albums.
Yeah, probably my mom bought that for me at that point.
You were probably like 11 or something, right? You know.
I was probably younger than that even. Like, Friends premiered when I was like 8, and it's weird. Like, I very distinctly remember like watching the pilot when it aired.
Jesus.
I remember like the ads for Friends. They're all in like this white bed together, and it was like, check out these guys. This is a sexy new sitcom.
Yeah. I don't remember that. Yeah.
All right, we've talked about Friends enough.
I agree. Fucking A.
All
Let's get to these opening. Well, first of all, I want to make a quick point about the writer-director.
Rob Hedden?
Rob Hedden. Not that this is a trend like my brilliant even-numbered ones. But
we're going with brilliant now.
Yeah, well, why not? To quote Bob Uecker, what the hell cares? Nobody's listening anyway.
Is that a Major League reference?
Yep.
Well done.
And thank you, and we'll get there, too.
Oh, we for sure will. I looked up an actor from this movie, and they were in Major League Back to the Minors.
I saw that.
And I was like, yo, we got to do those.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge fan. Big fan. Well, of the first one.
I like the second one.
Ugh. Anyway, at least for 6 and 8, there's a trend where when the director writes it, they're better.
Yeah, this is a pretty good movie.
That is definitely happening. Yeah.
This is like fun, and it moves along.
Oh, I laughed out loud a few times.
Me too. I will say, hour 40 minutes. Chop that 10 minutes out.
I agree with
Friday
that.
the 13th movies can't be longer than 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably the longest one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
up to this point, anyway.
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah.
You do. You feel it drags a little bit towards the end.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the end of it, but yeah. So the plot here.
We open on a montage of New York. We're setting up the because this movie takes place in New York, right?
Right. Oh yeah, the opening credits. Let's not skip that.
No, this movie does not take place in New York. This movie takes place on a boat, and Jason does not take Manhattan until I wrote it down actually.
Takes the South Shore Seaport.
He gets to Manhattan in an hour and 40-minute called okay, it's an hour and 40-minute movie called Jason Takes Manhattan, and Jason gets to Manhattan in an hour and 3 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the montage of New York, setting it up, we see
I love it.
just buckets of toxic waste in alleyways.
It's New York in the 80s, baby.
There's rats. There's smog.
There's lots of rats.
There's some burning things. A couple of homeless guys are doing heroin.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's the Statue of Liberty. So that's Manhattan to this movie.
That's Manhattan. The opening credits are a miracle.
There's iconic sights and people doing horrible things.
Yeah. To all put to the music of Metropolis. Not the soundtrack to the Fritz Lang movie.
Oh. Or the town from the Superman series.
Right.
Hey, I will also say, like, that song's pretty funny, but nothing stopping Alice Cooper from it.
Nothing is even... No, of course not.
It's not even close.
No. The song is helped by the visuals. With Alice Cooper, you don't even need the visuals. The lyrics are so incredible.
True.
So...
He's back!
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. No, please.
The man behind... All right, I can't do this again.
No.
I like that song so much that I will confess to you, Henry.
Yeah, you downloaded it?
I've listened to it since recording the last podcast.
Just like on its own?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that too. I'm going to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've inspired me. I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a good song.
I'm not embarrassed at all. It's great.
It's a great song.
Alice Cooper, fucking awesome.
Yep. Love you, Alice.
Love you, buddy.
Still Alice.
Still Alice. Jesus. Speaking of Friends. Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking of that movie, Cake.
What?
No, I get those movies mixed up for some reason. Still Alice is Julianne Moore.
I think you're thinking of Safe and Cake.
No, I'm not. I'm not. There's that movie Cake with Jennifer Aniston.
I saw Cake.
Yeah. I'm getting those mixed up.
Yeah.
Those were the overly serious Oscar wannabes from that year.
Yeah, it's one about a woman with Alzheimer's, and another one about a woman with a midlife crisis. So I can get the confusion. Moving on.
It's just two really serious Oscar wannabes starring, 40-something women with auburn hair.
Yeah.
How about that?
One made the Oscars, the other one didn't quite get there.
Probably they made the right choice there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Right.
The premise of this movie is similar to part 2 in that we're setting up something that has never and will never fucking happen ever. You'll recall in part 2 we were at a counselor training facility,
That's right.
which is a thing that doesn't exist. And here's a thing that doesn't exist. A graduating high school senior party on a cruise ship that is being chaperoned by 2 adults. And we are cruising from Camp Crystal Lake in New Jersey to New York because there's a lot of water between those two places. Yeah.
Apparently there's a ton of water.
Yeah.
Ocean water.
Oh, yeah. There's shots of this boat where there's no land to be found.
It looks like the perfect storm. I mean, it looks like a fucking tuna fish
It really
boat.
does. It looks like the fucking... What's that Deepwater Horizon?
Yeah, I saw that. Did I tell you that?
Did?
Yeah.
Why would you see that?
I don't know. There was nothing on. I've seen a couple of great things since. We'll talk later. But it's horrible. It's horrible.
Hey, give a quick current movie recommendation. Go. Just say the titles. Go.
Birth of a Nation.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
I know it's got a troubled. I know. I know. I was there's another one though that I saw that I'll have to pull up. Keep talking now.
Nate Parker.
I know.
Not
I
a
know,
good
but
guy.
it's out there. It's a movie. It's
It's a real
very-
Roman Polanski situation.
Uh-huh. No, I know.
I wish you hadn't said that. I was having fun until you brought up Nate Parker.
I didn't want to. You kind of forced me.
Yeah, sorry. I will recommend Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, the best comedy of the year so far, as well as The Nice Guys.
Oh yeah. You talked me into wanting to see that.
Those are 2 movies I watched this week that were excellent.
Oh boy, yeah. Before Birth of a Nation, all I saw was Deepwater Horizon. Well, before that, I saw Snowden. That was really good, guys. There you go.
Oh, that's right. You enjoyed that.
And The Light Between Oceans.
You like that?
I loved it.
Ooh.
I love that guy. Derek
Cian France is a legit great director.
He's
but
3 for 3, buddy.
I'd heard negative things about that one.
So did I.
I did love Blue Valentine and Place Between the Pines.
Beyond the Pines.
Beyond the Pines, sorry.
Yes.
The Place Beyond the Pines.
Or between them,
Whatever. Those are 2 great movies, and apparently this one good too.
So that's my official rec. Okay, we'll get off the.
All right, back to Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, Light Between Oceans. There's a lot of light between the oceans between Crystal Lake and New York. I'll tell you that.
Jason to take Nate Parker. Fuck that piece of shit. Maybe it's a good movie, but I'll see it. I'll judge it on its own merits.
It's a very good movie. It's not a 5-star, but it's very good.
Okay. So yeah, it's just this ridiculous cruise with like a graduating high school class, and it's again just a thing that doesn't exist.
It's a bad news cruise. I'm tossing them out tonight.
You're nailing it.
All right, so they board the
nothing.
They board the Lazarus.
The Lazarus, yeah, that's the ship.
That's ominous.
Jason is reanimated by a burst of electricity caused by friction between an anchor and a metal thing underwater.
A metal thing.
Let's just ignore that.
Yeah.
Jason's back.
Jason's back.
Okay.
Is the point. Yeah.
Our final girl here is a girl named Rennie. She's sort of like a troubled girl. She's a good writer. Why. We see a teacher give her a pen at one point, saying, "This is the kind of pen Stephen King uses."
No. Correction.
What?
She says, and I did it again. I rewound that part because I thought I heard it wrong, so I listened to it again. She says, "This is the pen that belonged to Stephen King, and he used it in high school."
Oh, it's his actual pen.
His actual pen.
That's even stupider. Great.
There you go.
All right. So the vast majority of this movie is just teens getting murdered on a boat. Eventually, we get to New York. But what were some of your favorite teens getting murdered on a boat scenes?
Oh, I could tell you right now. When JJ gets killed with an axe, and I mean a guitar.
Oh, baby.
That turns Jason into a real axe murderer, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's this, like, cool rocker chick.
She's great. I loved her.
Yeah, she's a real Joan Jett or something.
Yeah.
And, she's trying to film a music video on this boat using her friend, who's kind of the first hipster in a Jason movie.
Wow, good call. He really is.
Yeah.
You're right.
And so she finds herself in like the bowels of this ship, and she's like, "This is perfect for a music video." And Jason finds her there and just beats her to death with her electric guitar. It's great.
It's a good kill.
Yeah.
So it's probably the best kill in the movie. I mean, there's a few good kills, actually. I have a couple written down, but that one I had to write down.
A few good kills by Rob Reiner. And my favorite characters in this movie, though, are this, like, coke-addled prom queen and her Asian friend, whose only, character trait is she's a pretty Asian girl.
She sure is.
Yeah. And she really is. And she's played by the only actor who had a career after this movie.
God damn you to hell for getting this ahead of me.
All right.
Or not ahead of me,
well,
alongside
no, you knew
me.
it. You had the superhero count.
I had it, but I'm disappointed.
This is Kelly Hu.
Yeah.
And, of course, she played Lady Deathstrike, Wolverine's Weapon X nemesis in X2.
Yep. So that's quite a major thing 14 years later to be in an X-Men movie.
And she's great in that movie.
Yeah, she is.
We'll talk about it when we get to the X-Men franchise. But talk about good deaths. Her death in X-Men 2 is better than her death in Friday the 13th.
Oh, I don't even remember it in X-Men 2.
Yo, you remember she's like filled with like liquid metal adamantium, and her body just sort of like stiffens up.
And I love that movie.
It's baller.
I own that movie. Yeah. Speaking of directors who are horrible people.
Oh yeah. Bryan Singer and Nate Parker should have a conversation.
There you go.
Oof.
She's also not just in Lady Deathstrike. You know, she did. Apparently, she was in Arrow, and
oh yeah, she's China White in Arrow,
and she did voiceover work for a Batman DVD and a Spider-Man DVD
I didn't know,
and a Green Lantern DVD.
How about that? She's all over the superhero verse.
All right, so I got you on those ones. That's nice.
Yeah,
little subcontracting I did there.
Yeah, she's Lady Deathstrike to me. She's been in a ton of stuff though. Like she has a way bigger career than I thought.
Yeah, yeah. One of the most boring deaths though in the movie.
One of the most boring deaths, but she does have a charisma about her. Like you can kind of see how she made it out of this franchise.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's the plot. There's not much more to say, so we can start just bullshitting about the movie, right?
Well, I'll say we talked. The best death is the electric guitar, I think. But second favorite death, can I do that?
Sure, because I got mine written down.
There's a sauna on this ship for no reason.
That's my third favorite death.
That's your third favorite death.
Yeah, I have that written too.
And so a fella enters this sauna and gets just... Like Jason,
I don't even know what the word is. What happens to him? What do you even call it? He just
grabs like a hot rock,
and
like just fucking kills this guy to death with it. Like birds. It's sort of a little bit like reminiscent of that like road flare death in Part 5.
Yeah. But at least you got to see the road flare in the guy's face. This is another cutaway movie, even though it's a vast improvement. I'll put that right out there. This movie
it's 1989. I think they're starting to get some flack for the violence.
Yep, I think you're right.
And that was kind of the problem with horror movies in the 90s. Like they were a little bit sanitized.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see that here.
Yeah.
I think almost like Part 5 like went a little too far with the violence, and like it made Hollywood notice, and Hollywood was like, guys, fucking cool it.
God, these things meld so much to me. I don't even remember. Yeah, I guess you're right. 5 didn't do the cutaways yet. We're not there.
And there's a lot of deaths in Friday the 13th Part 8. Like, way more than Part 7.
Yeah, there's a lot. You're right.
Like, some of the most in the series. But they're not quite as gory. And...
Well, I'll tell you, my second favorite death was pretty gory.
Not a ton of blood in this movie. What's your second favorite death?
Oh, when Julius is boxing Jason on the roof of that building in Manhattan.
Oh, that is fucking awesome.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, there's that's the black fella, right?
It's even shot well, I gotta say.
It is. It's like a legit fight scene.
Yeah.
And they shot it in New York, which helps.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I couldn't tell, but yeah.
Yeah, there's like a black fella in this movie who is an amateur boxer, and he had previously actually boxed the guy who got killed with the hot rock in the sauna.
Nice catch. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but so once they finally take fucking Manhattan, for God's sake. Yeah, they end up on a roof, and this Julius is his name?
Julius, yes.
Dr. J.
Julius Irving, yeah. No racism going on in that name. Yeah, love it.
That's okay. There's a guy, a black fellow named Julius in The Good Wife, which I'm watching.
Okay, currently. Yeah, but this is 1989.
No, you're right. They
don't give a shit.
They're just naming basketball players.
Right. There was going to be a character named Magic and Kareem,
Yeah.
and Kareem, but they got rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Director's cut.
Right. His original name was Earl the Pearl. There's also another sort of like needless supernatural thing in this movie where that girl Rennie is having like hallucinations of the young Jason.
I'll say powerful hallucinations.
Yeah.
Like beyond the pale of what you would think someone would have. Yeah, because she doesn't have any powers, which you don't really realize.
Yeah. And the young Jason in these hallucinations
very confusing.
Looks like shit. He looks like Ken Jeong. It's like all of a sudden she's looking through a porthole in this fucking ship, and it's like, oh, there's that guy from The Hangover. It's Dr. Ken.
But did you notice that the kid Jason in this movie morphs from the beginning? He looks like a normal kid. They've done away with the idea that he was deformed from beginning.
No, he's not. He is
Are you
little deformed.
Are you sure?
He is. He's slightly.
He looks normal.
No, because it's like a white kid and he's slightly deformed, but like they did it so slightly that it just makes him look Asian.
Okay, because then he gets progressively worse looking.
Oh,
which is,
well,
I guess,
yes.
Yeah, he's been underwater for all the time. But I mean, I thought at the beginning, I even wrote down, now he's normal looking. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't catch that he had any makeup. It looked like a normal kid to me. So the porthole, yes, I'm with you on Dr. Ken. But
before we get to New York, actually, like in the conversation, I just want to say a couple more favorite things that happened on this boat.
Oh, this light, sure, please, yeah.
By the way, a lot of coke flying around.
Well, as per these movies.
Not that much. There's some in part 5.
You know what? I retract that statement, and I'll revive. There's a lot of coke flying around the sets of these movies.
Oh, good point. There's a lot of drugs in this movie in general. First appearance of heroin for sure, and crack is being smoked at one point. But so on this boat, like, there's another thing that would never happen ever, where that prom queen character is allowed on this cruise. But she's supposed to be presenting her final biology project in the middle of this cruise.
Right.
And so that's an excuse for her to say, you know what my final biology project's going to be? Oh, boy. Yo, I'm going to fuck this teacher.
And I'm going to draw my organs on my body.
Ooh, baby.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah. And he almost fucks her, but he doesn't, to his credit. And he's a better person than Nate Parker and Bryan Singer.
There you go.
I also, by the way, like that actress that played the prom queen. When she gets killed, it's one of these things where she's almost too good.
Really, you thought that? I don't know if I agree
thought
with you
it was
that.
like it was kind of sadder, like because it should be fun to watch her get killed because she sucks.
It was fun for me.
Well, I listen to you.
No, I thought she was a horrible person.
Yeah, she was a horrible person, but I think she played it like too real.
Oh, okay.
That's a complaint I have about that scene.
I really didn't give a shit. But okay.
And then so the ship is like almost at New York, and then it gets flooded. It's like something out of Alien Resurrection, or how about Deep Rising? Can I make a Deep Rising reference?
Sure you can. You can make a Deep Star 6 reference. You can make an Abyss reference. You can make any reference you want with this kind of thing. Yeah, there you go.
Can we do a bonus episode on Deep Rising? I know it's not a franchise, but I've never wanted to talk about a movie more than that one.
That's the one that came out right around the same time as Deep Blue Sea, right? But the one did way better than the other?
No. It actually came out right around the same time as Titanic.
Oh, well, yeah, Deep Blue Sea's 98.
But Deep Blue Sea was summer. Deep Rising was like January.
Oh, all right.
Saw it in theaters.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Deep Rising's my number 1 favorite January release of all time. You want to know number 2?
Sure, because I don't have one.
Firestorm, starring Howie Long.
starring Howie Long of the Raiders.
Yes.
The L.A. Raiders.
Uh-huh.
Fires.
That's a movie about Howie Long fighting forest fires.
Wasn't Drew Barrymore in that?
No.
Oh, it was Firestarter. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Firestarter. God.
I actually know the movie you're talking about with Howie Long. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Sure.
Wow. Can I say a word about the boat itself?
Please do.
Okay.
The Lazarus?
Yeah, the Lazarus. I want to go on that schooner. I want to own that. I want to be on that yacht. It's one of the coolest yachts I've ever seen in a movie. It's apparently a cruise ship because it's endless. There's like a dance floor.
Gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that big.
It has a sauna.
It has everything. I could live on there and be completely happy. I know I said earlier in this series that I don't want to go to the woods. I don't like the camping and all. Give me the schooner.
Oh, you could be like that captain.
But like that who?
There's that captain who's like the father of the male lead in this movie.
I'll do that. As long as I don't get, axed in the head, I'll take the Lazarus anytime. Yeah. Put me on there. Put Dan in the woods. I'll take the
I'll take the woods, you take the seas.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
Deal.
So, but the Lazarus gets flooded. They escape it. It's a better movie about escaping boats than Titanic.
Yeah.
True. And then we're finally in New York. And then we're just sort of running through New York for like a half hour. And that's the rest of the movie. Right?
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't mention what happens in the boxing match, Kill, because we're in New York now.
Go for it.
They're boxing, and this Julius Irving is punching this Jason all over the place. But Jason's
great. He's like juking left and right.
Yeah. I mean, he's giving him body shots. I was even kind of like rooting for him to not work the body so much and go back to the mask. But eventually,
like Rocky IV.
Oh yeah, and then he just tires out. His knuckles are bloody, and Jason just looks at him and winds up, lands him a roundhouse, and decapitates the guy. And the guy's head falls like 8 stories
It was
down.
like fucking Hadouken. Like, yeah, this guy just gets his head punched
Finish
off.
him.
It's fucking baller.
It's great. Some New York stuff that made me laugh legitimately that I loved.
Okay.
I think it's the first time I've ever related to Jason on a personal level. When he's walking through Times Square and those punks are playing their music on a boombox, and he just kicks it apart. That was fucking brilliant.
It was.
Oh
great.
my god, it's genuinely funny.
Yeah.
It's like Jason is irritated at these assholes blasting their music.
Who killed Radio Raheem? Jason, apparently.
And how nice. And how many times we wanted to do that, And the subway ride, I loved it. I loved it. He's just like walking through the cars, and he just this random woman standing there, and he just tosses her aside. It's so funny.
It's that garbage graffitied subway of the 80s.
Yeah,
where it looks
I remember
like
that.
Something out of Escape from New York.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember that time. Like, I didn't live there, obviously, like you, but I visited quite frequently, and I remember that, man. I remember the 1980s New York. I was very young, but I remember it. And
me too, yeah.
And that subway graffiti in a fucking hellhole. I mean, it's not too exaggerated. And I think the reason you can also say it's not very exaggerated, you can look at a lot of those movies from the 80s where the subway itself is not even integral to any part of the movie, but it's still got graffiti in the background. Like, if you watch, like, Coming to America, or I think we mentioned last week, Crocodile Dundee.
I was, like in college already by the time, like, they cleaned up the subway.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't happen until the mid-90s.
Yeah, I remember, like, because I used to have to take the E train to go to college. And I remember at some point while I was in college, the E train transferred over from this, like, ratty piece of shit with graffiti all over it to, like, the fun new E train with, like, the robot voices.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Stand clear of the closing
doors, please.
Yeah.
Showtime. Yeah.
I wish Jason killed those fucking Showtime kids.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
This movie would be 5 stars if that would have happened. But I don't think they were around then. At least not as much as they are now.
Bash those kids to death that are trying to sell you Welch's fruit snacks while you're at it. I like that the second.
We throw in the mariachi bands too.
Oh, I fuck those guys.
Sorry, audience. That's just Dan and me kind of ranting a little bit. Then
New York.
Esoteric.
It is the worst. So I like that the second they get to New York, they get mugged. Like that moment.
The second.
Yeah.
The second. Yeah.
How
did Jason get all the way there, by the way? I wanted to ask you that.
Wait.
Real.
I'm not done with this mugging.
Well, I was going to lead you into it.
Okay.
But how did he get there?
He's a good swimmer.
He
spent enough time underwater.
I was just going to say, so now he can swim? Or is he like underneath the canoe the whole time? Like, what's going on?
No, he's got a hell of a breaststroke.
Okay. That's a hell of a breaststroke. All right. I just wanted to clear it up. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead to your mugging.
Listen. The second they get there, they get mugged, and these two fellas...
Latinos.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah. They just inject this girl, Rennie, with heroin in an attempt to rape her.
That was so bizarre, that injection. I didn't even know if it was heroin. It almost looked like they were, like, injecting her with some kind of liquid marijuana. It was so strange.
It seems like heroin, and it's like... First of all, get heroin out of my Jason movie, and definitely get rape out of my Jason movie.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet because it's all been consensual stuff, right? Like just
horny teens.
Right. Yeah, very strange.
But then, listen, you got to give Jason a little credit.
Do you?
He saves her.
He saves her.
He fucking saves Rennie from this rape.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, yo, that's shitty even for me, Jason Voorhees. So he kills these fucking muggers.
Right.
And that's that.
Yeah.
And he wants to kill Rennie too. But,
he wants her for himself to kill. He's like not gonna. But you're right. Like he's probably thinking in under that hockey mask. He's probably thinking, even by my standards, all the pretty bad stuff I've done.
Jason hates sex.
Yeah, he doesn't like it, so he doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to see.
He doesn't want it consensual, and he certainly doesn't want it non-consensual.
There you go. That is a great point. Yeah, that's just going to rub him the wrong way.
Boom.
Yeah. I also like when he gets out and looks at the billboard of the hockey mask and makes that tilt to the head. Great little moment.
That's a good moment. I actually rewound that to rewatch it.
There you go.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I also like the moment where there's this like New York City gang. And Jason, like, they're, like, sort of razzling him. Like, hey, motherfucker. And then he just sort of takes off his mask for a second and shows them his gross face.
But we don't see it, and that's why it's great.
Yeah,
that's why
it scares them.
They're the Boombox kids. The Boombox kids.
Oh, those are the Boombox kids.
Yeah, he breaks their boombox, so they razz him and call him, motherfucker or something, and he turns around, and that's great. Yeah, love it.
It's great. And, whatever. That's the movie, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can get into the length. I mean, I think, personally, I would have been fine with him dying on the third rail. I kind of thought that was it. I wasn't watching the counter. I thought I was at the end.
But I think that's just because we get to New York too late. It's the kind of thing, like, the movie's an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, they're packing on stuff.
It should be 88 minutes.
Yeah.
And the 12 minutes should be cut out of, like, the escaping the boat stuff. I think, like, we just sort of need to get to Manhattan at the 45-minute mark.
It didn't have the money.
Yeah. If you have a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan, we need to be taking Manhattan in the first hour.
I agree.
So that's the knock on this movie, but it's a pretty fun Friday the 13th movie. I enjoy it.
So did I. Absolutely.
There you go. All right. You want to wrap up?
Yeah, I'll give you my MVP, LVP, and star rating.
Star rating.
Mine is 3. I'm giving it 3.
You're giving it 3. I'm also going to give it 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
My MVP is Julius James Worthy, Magic Johnson Irving. I like that guy.
I'm going
with a great scene. I got to,
I'm going with the coke-addled prom queen.
Yeah, you like her. Yeah. Okay.
She's great, and Kelly.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just want to say my MVP is a tie. My LVP is not. I'm tying my MVP. It's Dr. J and the director. I'm thankful to Rob
Hedden.
I'm thankful to him for pulling this off a little bit. Could have been worse.
Listen, watching The New Blood, like right before watching Jason Takes Manhattan, makes you really appreciate the craft of Rob Hedden.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My LVP is the principal. He was a fucking horrible person.
Yeah, he's a bad person, but I kind of like the performance.
I agree, but you got to remember, you're starting to tend towards the way I used to be when we started this show. That's how I was, but you were used to just be like, it's the character I don't like. It's not the performance. You know, you can do both, but remember, I'm not. Of course, he's very good. The actor, he has a couple funny lines too, but he's such a cretin that he's getting my LVP.
Okay, fair.
You catch me, my drift?
Yeah. He reminded me of an actor, and I was trying to think of the guy's name, but I can't. He's the guy that showed up in Scream 2 as like her drama professor.
Oh man,
he's in a lot of like 70s Shakespeare movies, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyway, my LVP. I'm actually gonna go with the other teacher.
Yeah.
She was just kind of a drip, and that scene where she presents her with Stephen King's pen is so fucking stupid.
She's nothing.
Yeah.
Now, you were doing a tie. It sounded like I interrupted you. It sounded like on your MVP you were going for the prom queen and Kelly Hu.
Well, they were sort of a double act. Like, most of their scenes were together. So that's kind of... I liked those scenes. They were fun.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that's that. That's Jason Takes Manhattan.